We are here with the Brosmind Brothers in Barcelona in their studio. They've been so nice to welcome me. And I'll ask you guys some questions. First of all, let's talk about your name. I know that like 10,000 people have already asked you this, but Brosmind, so you're brothers, so you're working together. What is it? One mind? No, two minds put together? What's the process? How does it work?
Yeah, it's kind of that. Yeah, you know, we have the same exact background. We have the same influences, so we think in a very similar way. So we can say we are almost like a one person, and with communication between us is really easy. So
yeah, it's great. It's like saying not being alone, but having a double brain. You know, it makes things faster. It's really easy communications. When you're working in a process, you kind of never get stuck because as an only individual, you can get stuck in something. You always have someone else telling you to do it the right way, to do it faster. So it's great. Yeah, we could say that we're like two brains in one or something like this.
yeah, because we not always think the same. We have a lot of arguments, creative arguments. But the point here is that as we have so many confidence, I think that's good for our work, because we can bring,
absolutely.
You know, I can say exactly what I think without fear that he's going to leave the studio, because, you know, we are brothers, so at the end we always became friends. So in our case, that's a good thing.
Yeah, we don't need to get shortcuts to say that we don't like something, you know. If he draws something and I hate it, I can tell him straight away, you know. I know he's gonna get pissed off, he's gonna probably fight with me, or we're gonna get into a fight. But we both know that it's for the good of both of us, you know. So we can go straight. And I know that if I tell him something, he's gonna forget about it, because later we are gonna go lands. I mean, we're brothers. So this brother relationship is great for those things.
And we don't have ego fights. You know, even, of course, I prefer to have the idea instead of him, but, you know, it's your brother, so it shouldn't be such a big problem.
Yeah, exactly. And since we've been working kind of creatively since we were kids, just playing or building toys and everything, so we really like to share our egos, or we know that if he builds something great, I'm gonna achieve that greatness as well, you know.
And what is actually the process? Like, you receive an assignment, you receive a job, and who starts doing what, and how do you merge?
Okay, usually in the commercial part it's really easy, because you get a brief from the client, or you get a creative call with the art director, or if it's an advertising campaign or something. And then when we get the brief, or we just got the starting idea from the client, we start discussing about it, the both of us. We usually have a sketchbook, or just talking about it. We start thinking how to solve, if it's an illustration, how to solve the illustration, how it's going to be the style, if it's going to be only one character, it's going to be a busy illustration. So once we have that clear, we start sketching, we start sharing ideas, and then we start doing the pencil art, you know. We start drawing the final illustration in pencil, like sketching. So we distribute the volumes, and this is a process that we do 50-50. So I start sketching one side, or he starts sketching on the other corner. So we could say that we do it like four hands.
Yeah, because since we start working together, we develop the same exact style of drawing, so we draw the same way.
Yeah.
That's what that allows us to split the sheet of paper in half and work at the same time.
So then we put it together, or one day I get earlier here and I can start erasing his part. So it's really fluid, this pencil part is really 50-50, you know. We talk a lot about how we solve it creatively, or how we draw things, or maybe I draw a hand that I don't really know how to draw it, and I leave it there so he can finish it afterwards, or he does something and then maybe I remove it because I know it's gonna be better in something. So it's a process like hand by hand. It keeps on passing and removing and blah blah. And then when we start like producing the final art, it's a really mechanic process. He does the ink, you know, he redraw everything in ink, whatever, in marker or with computer with a Wacom, and I do the color. So, but this part for us is the less important, because it's really like, it's a mechanical process, you know, it's something that we do it automatically. Once we arrive to that point, we are relaxed, because we know it's just a matter of hours. They're like...
Yeah, the important thing is to understand that any creative decision is made by the two of us, always. And maybe we can separate the work in the technical phase.
Yeah, exactly.
So every decision, every idea is made by the two of us. We never take a project by around,
Yeah,
separately.
exactly.
We always work together in
Yeah,
each
maybe.
project.
Yeah, maybe one has the first idea, but it's gonna be developed by the other one for sure. You know, and I think that's the greatest part of our process. You know, it's the part that we enjoy the most, because it's when we have fun and we develop our creativity or how we solve things, and we really enjoy that. And when it's a personal project, it's more a freedom thing. So we talk a lot. You know? Yes, talk too much.
No, keep going.
Okay, so when we do a personal project, it's kind of the same process, the same structure, but at the beginning, since there is no briefing, just things or ideas that we have there since always, or when we go lunch, we start talking, oh, we would love to build something, or maybe it's the moment to build a car or build something, and there are ideas there always in our head, and there is a day that one of us says, hey man, let's just start this, you know, like, and so then we start, or we have an excuse because we got invited for a gallery exhibition. So then we say, okay, which one of our ideas should we put in there? But then the process is really kind of the same.
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas for upcoming personal projects. We just have to find the moment to develop them. That's the most difficult part for us. Mainly, the most of them are made in our spare time, because for the moment we don't live from those personal projects. We live from the commercial stuff we do, mainly for advertising.
Yeah, and it's great because in personal projects we can explore different fields. Like we can build stuff, we can do a sculpture, we can build stuff in booth, or a car with pedals, or now we are working like in little video games with little arcade machines with our own video games. So we're like investing time trying to learn those things to be able to develop our own projects. So it's great because you kind of like cut from commercial and start doing different things that keeps you fresh, you know.
Yeah, and learn new things, learn new techniques. So it's a way to constantly be evolving somehow. I think we learn a lot of things working in those personal projects that we can later apply to the commercial stuff. So it's really important for us.
I'm very curious to know who were your inspiration, characters, artists, whoever, when you were kids, younger, and who you admire and you like now?
Yeah,
one, because I guess that there are like some differences at this point.
It's really hard. I mean, we think that right now our major influences are from our childhood, because I mean we are brothers. I mean now we don't live together. We live independently, you know, far away from each other. So it's really important, I think, all this background from our childhood, you know, all these TV series from the 80s, cartoons, 80s, 90s, you know, all those movies, you know, from Indiana Jones, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, all those cartoons, from Japanese manga, Dragon Ball, or...
I mean, there are like comic books, you know, for example, we read a lot of superhero comic books, American, from DC Comics, Marvel Comics, a lot of European comics, also from France, Asterix, Tintin.
Spanish ones.
Spanish ones, a lot of comic books from Spain, really good, from artists like Ibáñez or...
So and I think it's this sense of wonder that we had back then, because there was no communication, there were no internet or information. You were only able to get some specific magazines maybe once a month, once every 2 months, or you were not able to get as many toys as you wanted, or watch as many movies as you wanted. You know, you watched probably Ghostbusters one day and you were not able to watch that movie probably until 2-3 years later, until it came in VHS or they put it on TV. So I think all people of that area, we had this sense of wonder, or we get like, wow, man, I want to watch that movie, was amazing, or only watching a poster of a movie was already inspirational, because we were like, wow, fascinated, you know.
At the end you became idealizing all that stuff, even it wasn't that good maybe, but as you didn't have that access to information like you have now, it happened really often. For example, maybe you had one Spider-Man comic and just one issue alone, and you reread it thousands of times, and so...
Yeah, so I think it's a mix of all those things, you know. Now you watch a movie, you watch one of those $200 million movie, Captain America or whatever, you know, you watch it one day, but you already watch like 5 or 10 teasers, trailers and stuff. You watch it, okay, it's great, visually amazing, the story, whatever, but then you just forget about it. You just want to watch a new one, you know, you want to watch the second one. back then it was like all those things, you know, that you take care of them like as gold, you know. So I think it's really important for us, all these things that back then, you know. And I think they are still influencing us nowadays, you know.
So for us, that's the reason it's really difficult to pick just one person, one artist, or one creator, which we feel like an influence for us. We have so many, and we prefer to say that we are really influenced by all that age, all that era, instead of choosing only one person or only one creator.
It's also because we are two people, you know, and the thing that put us together is all the stuff back there. Of course, we have many artists from nowadays. We are friends with great artists that inspire us, and it's amazing. But I think the base of Brosmind probably is back then, you know, all the stuff we did as a kid, you know.
Yeah, and how we try to recover all that freshness, no? Spontaneity. Because another thing important to understand what we do right now is that we already were a creative couple when we were kids. So at the time we create our own comics, we custom a lot our toys, we create stuff for our toys.
Yeah, we built our own cars.
It always feels like you have a positive message. Maybe it's because of the colors, maybe because of the shape, but it always feels like your word is happy, positive.
Yeah.
How come?
Because I think we are both optimistic people, and we really want people to enjoy our work. I mean, of course, there are like the different levels of understanding our work, or sometimes maybe there's like a deeper level of sadness, or however you want to call it. But even if there is like a dark brief behind that, or a dark idea behind, we really want to show optimistic and happiness, you know. We want to draw a smile into the people, you know. We want to make them happy. Why make them sad, right?
Yeah, I know we don't have a plan for that, but I think it's just the natural way we like to express ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, we are happy people, I think. Yeah, we're optimistic.
It's
We
just
might
your
sound a
attitude.
little bit not serious people, but I think we're really optimistic. We want to project that into the work. Yeah.
What do you like to collect?
Oh,
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we could say that we like to collect all the stuff we used to play when we were kids, mainly stuff from that ages now. So yeah, when we grew up and we create the studio. We start collecting, I don't know, the toys, the action figures we used to play when we were kids, G.I. Joe, the Masters of the Universe, or maybe the comics we used to read when we were kids, all those superhero comics from the 80s or the 90s. So
Yeah, kind of a little bit.
we are not professional collectors. I mean, we don't try to complete everything or have them all, but just try to recover those feelings or those specific toys we really like when we were kids and we never had, or we had them but they broke, so we want to have that feeling again. So we are those kind of nostalgic collectors, but not.
Yeah, or
we don't have that many.
Yeah, or we just got jump into eBay or Amazon, or I mean, it's great. Those places are amazing. Once a week, we just sit down and we just spend all the money there. So it's great. I mean, we're not super pro collectors, but we like. I think we just collect stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and we are different kind of collectors. For example, if I buy a toy, Master of the Universe, I open it. I don't, but he keeps them in mind conditions. So
yeah, I have a little crisis a couple of weeks ago. You know, I moved to a different place. I have a kid now, and she's growing really fast, and I don't really have a space. So I jump into this box full of Master of the Universe, mint condition, and I was there like, man, maybe it's the right moment to open them, you know, and live again all that feeling, you know.
Yeah, you should. I totally
I have them.
you.
I just keep some of them. My favorite ones are on a shelf at home, but the rest I can't keep them. I don't want to sell them, you know, because I bought them even if they were expensive, just to have the feeling of. So maybe I just bring them here and we do how do you call it, like opening box on video, you know, how
like a demo video.
yeah, like a demo, you know, opening collection.
Nice.
And yeah, we go from toys to products that we enjoy or we have we think they are interesting. We even buy like a nice scissors. I mean, we kind of collect. We have a big range of things that we buy.
Yeah, gadgets or interesting.
Yeah, it depends on the day. You know, nowadays you can buy anything. You just remember, like, oh man, you get the money, you just buy it, and then you just put it in a corner and forget about it. But so yeah.
How do you promote yourself? What do you prefer to do in order to promote your company?
Yeah, to promote. We have some different ways. First, we have agents in different parts of the world which take care of different areas. For example, the States or UK or I don't know, in Europe we have some of them also. That's one part. That's for the commercial work mainly, and then we take care of managing the social networks, and we use Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and Behance mainly. But
and Instagram, yeah.
And Instagram.
Yeah, the thing is that I don't think that we really like to promote ourselves. So we are really lucky to have those agents who are doing some work back there, or when we get like a call from a possible client, we just resend it to one of our agents because we don't want to deal with that, you know. It's like business, do it. We just want to concentrate on the creative part. So when we try to promote ourselves, it's not that we sit down and say, okay, how we're going to promote this month, you know, how we're going to do this new sprint, what are we going to do? So it's more a natural thing, like, and Instagram, I think, is one of our favorite tools right now because it's really easy to, you're at lunch and you just share something, you know, or you build something on the workshop and you just share it, you know. So it's more like a natural thing, like, I mean, we're so proud of this thing that we are going to share it, you know. Yeah, so it's kind of a different promotion from the promotion of trying to get clients. Of course, you get clients from this kind of freestyle promoting thing that we'll love just to do this, but it's true that we have two sides, you know, one in charge of these agents and the other one.
Yeah, in the socials, it's just the easiest and fastest way to be in contact with your followers or with the people who likes your work, and you can put daily things and the stuff that you can do, or personal things. And yeah, mainly our commissions come mainly from the agents. I can say that. It's true that sometimes somebody has seen you in a social network, but I think it's that different.
And when it comes to illustration and art on the other side, like how do you live this kind of like two different fields? And what will be your hope for the future?
Yeah, I think our hope for the future is, since I mean, of course we are doing mainly illustration, you know, but we have this interest of doing other things from other fields, you know, or video or music or video games or sculptures, you know. So our dream, our goal will be to get into the studio and say, okay, today we're going to do this thing. And knowing in advance that someone is going to buy that, you know. That will be our dream, because you will never think on money, you will just think on, let's do something that we really feel of doing, you know. So I think that's our goal. Yeah. And in terms of daily life, I mean, of course, we have a pretty busy agenda of doing illustration, commercial illustration, mainly for the States or, well, a lot of places. So we just organize, we try to finish that as soon as possible. We try to concentrate all the projects maximum a week or something. Well, it depends on the project, but we try to make them as fast as possible so we can have all this extra spare time to develop our own personal projects.
Yeah, so we can say right now we have a nice balance between those two things. So we can do the commercial work and we live from that, but still we have some time and some money or funds to produce our personal project. So we are happy with that.
Yeah, and the great thing is that nowadays, since we have a pretty solid style right now, all the commercial is not that bad, or I mean, it's pretty close to our personal project. So it's not that terrible than 5 years ago, where we're personal and commercial were really different. You know, nowadays everything we get a call for to do is really similar to our personal project, so it's not that
in terms
stress than before.
Of style, we can say both worlds are meeting in a point, right? So we like the commercial stuff we are doing right now. It's really close to our real style.
Yeah, but it took us a lot of years, and it's a matter of showing people what you can do or what you would like to do, like doing all those personal projects. And we like to say that we are trying to teach our clients and our future clients, you know, want to show them what they have to call us to do, you know. We don't want them to call us, that it still happens, you know, there are a lot of people really lost in the world from big agencies that call you and say, hey, I love your style, I love what you do, but can you do this, you know. And it's really weird, you know. It's like, no man, call this person or call these other people that are specialized in that, you know. So yeah.
So what are your favorite artists, like contemporary artists? If there are some, and if you're interested in it.
Yeah, I don't really think we have like a major. I mean, of course, we love all the classics or all the big stars from contemporary art, but we believe more in our friends. And we got a friend that's called Andoni Beristain, who's a photographer, who we met randomly because he has this magazine with a friend who interview us, and we start doing like a small collaboration, and he's great, and I think he has really a lot of power, and he's gonna be big. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great because, you know, you jump into those people, super interesting people, you know, and you just met them and you're like, wow, man, I think you're going to be big. So we prefer to say, yeah, Andoni Beristain is one for that.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
What is your biggest achievement, and what was your worst failure?
Yeah, it's difficult to choose only one. Only one failure. But for example, anytime we finish a personal project, it's a big success for us. So we could choose any of the personal projects we did during the last year as our favorite project. We love all of them, and finishing them is just amazing for us because we do them. We try to develop them in our spare time. About the failures,
yeah, I think we have so many. I mean, I don't like to say that. I mean, of course, we have so many failures, and I believe that we still have. And we are two people that even if that we are feeling like really successful when we finish like even a commercial or a personal project, the next day we already feel like losers or like, oh man, it's not that great. Let's try to make a new one. So I believe that we have a failure every day, at least mentally. Like, oh man, why did we do that? Or why are we doing this? You know. Or whatever, so we kind of every day have a failure and a success, you know. Oh man, we feel that we are the best, but at the same time we feel that we are the worst. So I think that this is something that keeps us moving. Of course, we could tell you story failures with clients and stuff, but I think those are really interesting and important to start growing up and learning from how the things work. And I think when more the failures you have, more the successful you are going to have, you know.
Yeah, and any of those failures was big enough to finish Brosmind, so we could recover always and learn from it.
Yeah.
So we are always continuing and looking.
Yeah, but daily, I think we're really like having like this like ups and downs, you know. It's like really like, and being true is like really easy to, wow, man, oh, but really easy also to stand up again. So I think I always said that to students, you know. It's like, man, you're gonna fail a lot, but if you have a goal or something, you're just gonna fight for it and keep working, you know. And there is a perfect sentence from Michael Jordan, I think, who said like, I'm probably the best basketball player in the world, or the best, how you say, like a scorer, throwing baskets, you know, but I'm also the one who throw more, you know, who fails the more, you know. So I think that's the perfect point. You know? Yeah. If you are always like, I mean,
yeah, it's good to make a lot of small failures to learn more. So.
Is there a project you're particularly excited about that you're working on right now? You're happy to start, happy to do?
Yes, for example, we have been working in a video game for mobile devices with a company, and well, it's kind of a secret right now. It's a really nice video game, and the first time we are working in this field, which is kind of a dream for us.
Yeah.
And let's see,
Yes, we are really excited.
We just
with
put
that,
a step on that field.
Yeah, it's
and
nice
we're
because
really
you kind
excited.
of develop the basis of the style of the big game, and then there's like a bigger team like developing the whole thing, you know. So it's really nice to get all those emails with new materials and new stuff. You know, it's really pretty exciting.
Yeah, and we are working then as designers of
we design
characters and the backgrounds
and
and everything.
And there is another project that we are really happy with it. Maybe we did like a year or 2 years ago. We designed like the image for these chains of restaurants in the States for this Spanish cooker. It's called Jose Andres, who has now a new line of restaurants of healthy food, like all vegetables that you boil there. It's kind of a fast food restaurant, but with vegetables. And we designed all the characters for them and all these wallpapers, and that they are later using for all these images, like from the packagings and everything. And it's nice because we did them like 2 years ago, but the project is growing really fast, and it's like an illustration that we gave them. It's gonna survive forever. You know, it's gonna be there always. So it's really nice to see one of your works that kind of looks they're gonna last forever. You know, because sometimes you do an illustration, you put a lot of effort, and then the next day it gets a publication, even if it's for the New York Times, like we did a couple of weeks ago. It's amazing. It's great. A lot of people are gonna see it, but it's gonna be forget forever.
Yeah.
But when you do something like solid, like a big thing, you know, like it's a sculpture or something in volume, you know, something that is outside from your regular materials, it's great because it's there, it's living. There are many people working there, making it even bigger. You know, it's part of a big thing. You know, so it makes you feel really proud. You know, when you see a new restaurant with your graphic there. You know, it's like, wow, man, or banana with a bicycle is gonna be there 7 foot tall for the next
it's really
10
nice.
years. You know, it's amazing. It's
Because they are growing, and anytime they open a new restaurant or people goes there, you have all those feedbacks all the time. So you are all the time in contact with people and with their opinions, and that's
even
really,
if you are a small part of this huge business, you know, but you are there, you know, you're there, your graphics are gonna be there. So we love to do this kind of projects for that reason, you know, because they stay longer there than what we usually do, you know.
yeah.
Now you work and live in Barcelona. What about the future? What you're dreaming about? Do you like to travel?
Yeah, we like to travel, and we travel a lot. We used to travel more, but still we do some travels, doing talks in many design festivals, different places and countries. And anytime we go to a new city, we say, "Oh man, this city is so beautiful. It's great. We should move here," and all the time. But when we came back to Barcelona, we realized that maybe it's our favorite city in the world because it's really comfortable to live here. It has the perfect size, the people, the weather. So at the end, I think we really like to live here and work for the rest of the world.
And it's true, since we didn't born here, so this is actually the city we choose to study and to live, you know. Sometimes we have this, maybe we should go to this city, but I think we made that decision many years ago, and since we already moved from home, I think we're gonna stay here forever.
Yeah.
And then we have the mortgage, the kids, so it's not that easy to move around. So we just travel. We have to do talks or business stuff. So the reality, you know, you can dream a lot, but the reality is another one. You know, you have a mortgage, kids.
Yeah, but it's true that doing what we do, you can live anywhere. You just need some paper and scanner, a computer, so we could live anywhere. And I think that's good because this is our favorite city, and we can work for the whole world from here.
Yeah, and then we have our studio, and we are two people. I think it will be hard to decide which city. You know, even if we choose one, you know, then it's our wives and everything. Will be complex, you know, and find another place. So I think it's kind of our meeting point is the studio, you know.
And do you like to teach and share and talk about what you do? Is it something that like you enjoy doing?
Yeah, we really enjoy, and I think it's really necessary for us because when we were students, we didn't feel that the people we follow or idols didn't share that much as we would love to. You know, when we started working together, we knew a little bit of the business, but we didn't know how our idols work, or if they fail, or how they did budgets, or how they jump into a client. Are the clients calling them? does he invent the price, or is there a process to put a price into a project? If it's a commercial, if it's artistic, where is the balance, you know? So we really like to share all this knowledge we learn since the beginning, you know? And
yeah, because we realized after some years working as professionals that it's not that difficult if you work hard and you have your own style and you have a little bit of luck. It's affordable. Sometimes when you are a student and you look at your idols, design idols, you think it's impossible to arrive to that point, but that's not true. And everything, I think, it depends of the image. Some of those artists want to project, and in fact, they have the same problems like you, or they do some projects just for the money as you, but they don't show them. So there are a lot of things that you discover when you are a professional, and we would like to share all that information.
They are really important
with
to know
students
from the beginning. You know, of course, you don't need them to tell them how much to charge for an illustration or for a project. But I think it's really important to tell them that you are going to fail a lot at the beginning, or you are going to have to do things that you don't like at the beginning, but you have to build your own stuff. So I think it's really important, and we learn a lot during all these 10 years, you know. And it's been hard, we have to work a lot, and I think it's good, you know. As my brother said, you know, when you see these big designers or big illustrators, big artists, doing all those talks, that it seems that they're like, you know, just get the call from Coca-Cola, Nike, Reebok, whatever, directly, you know, and that's not true, you know. We know them now. I mean, we jump into these people, we got friends with some of them, and we realize that they are like the same losers as us, you know. They are doing all this price for the money that they don't show, you know. And I think it's really important to tell the people that you are, I mean, even if you are a star, or if you are a super famous person, you are going to be doing stuff that you don't like, you know.
And it's really important. The most terrible thing would be that creative people and students would stop working on this because he gets or she gets frustrated because she's not doing what she really like.
Yeah, exactly.
It's normal. At the beginning, you have to learn things, and you can learn things doing any kind of work. You just have to be clever and don't get fooled by people, and try to have a nice strategy. But the most important thing is to never stop working. There are a lot of students who often stop doing things because they don't do that kind of stuff. So
it's like a balance of working with your ego or ideas. So I think it's good to talk about that with the students. And
so we are going to the point of the question. We like to give that advice to students or people who is learning right now, but we don't give classes at schools, but we try to put all those messages in our talks, which some of them are done in schools or in our workshops. So we always try to give people those advice, which we think are really helpful.
Thank you so much, Brosmind.
I think we should. We were able to resume everything in 2 sentences, but
it was great.